Now, he was a great general in the wars of the late 19th century, such as the Sandown War, before that, the Boer War. Now, he was great on the battlefield. They called him the master of the battlefield. But then, in the early 20th century, it was World War I, and that was the game changer. That was the war that made castles such as this obsolete. Now, they didn't know how to fight World War I because there were all these new technologies on the battlefield, such as machine guns and barbed wire. The British were taking on a force that they might lose against, unlike previous wars. Now, they decided to get the great Scottish commander, Earl Douglas Haig, to lead the British forces. Now, his tactics were basically obsolete by this point, but they didn't know it. So he went along the trenches with his horse going, "Right, lads, over the top. Let's go get the enemy." And the soldiers would come out and march very calmly towards enemy machine gun fire. And if they made it any distance, they'd get trapped in the barbed wire. So his old tactics led to the death of roughly 2 million British soldiers. This is actually parodied in a TV show over here called Blackadder. Earl Douglas Haig is actually in it, and he says to Blackadder, "Now this is our tactic. We're going to come over the trench and march very slowly towards the enemy." To which Blackadder says, "But we did that 15 times and it failed." And he goes, "Yes, but we think it's going to work the 16th time." And that was what was actually happening. It kept failing, but they just kept marching them towards the machine guns. Now, when the war was over, he was considered a great hero because history is written by the victor. It wasn't until after his death they found out what his old tactics were doing. So they stopped calling him the master of the battlefield and started calling him Haig the Butcher. Now, this statue used to be on the castle esplanade, but in 2011 they very quietly moved it here. The official reason? There wasn't enough room on the esplanade, even though you can still see the outline of where it used to be. Now, this is also where another siege took place, probably my favourite siege, but also one of the most disgusting. Now, this was during the Second War of Scottish Independence. You see, Edward III, the grandson of Edward I, decided to finish his grandfather's work and try to take over Scotland again. Now, in 1333, him and his men, they go to Perth and they contract a group of Dutch mercenaries. And they say to them, "We want you to kick the Scots out of Edinburgh." Now, these Dutch mercenaries, they camp down south in a place called Balmore, just outside of Edinburgh. And they're trying to put their tactics together when the Scots attack in the middle of the night. And as the battle is going on, there's this very tall Dutch knight with a helm on going through and slaughtering the Scottish soldiers. A young Scottish squire then challenged that knight to a duel, and they both killed each other in the duel. Now, the Scots win the battle and the Dutch have to flee. And when the battle is over, they run up to the Dutch knight, they take off the helm and find it's a very tall, very strong Dutch woman. Now, she became the inspiration for Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. Now, the Dutch are on the run, and they come up here to Edinburgh Castle, and Edinburgh Castle is still a ruin at this point. So all the battlements are down. So they come to this lower section here, and to make a wall, they slaughter all their horses, and then stack their horses' bodies on top of each other, making a battery of dead horses. Now, when the Scots make it up here, they see this pretty horrific sight, and they decide they're just going to wait it out. And after 3 days of waiting, the Dutch had no fresh water, it stunk up here. Eventually, they put up the white flag.